Why your words are a strategic disease. Understand this. Your compulsion to speak, to explain, to share your plans and pains is not communication. It is a parasitic infection of your strategic potential. Every unforced utterance is a leak in your sovereignty. We begin by incinerating the cultural lie that your voice matters. In its raw, unfiltered state, it is a liability. The world you inhabit is not a community. It is a silent, layered hierarchy of observers and targets. By announcing your position, you transform yourself from observer to target. This is the fundamental lens shift. You must see information not as a currency of connection, but as a toxin that must be contained within your own operational cell. Your biography, your aspirations, your grievances, in the hands of others. This is not your story, it is your dossier. The first law of power is the law of selective pressure. It naturally selects against the visible, the predictable, the emotionally legible. To move in absolute silence is not to become quiet. It is to become strategically invisible. To separate your internal calculus from your external signature so completely that your movements seem to emerge from the environment itself, inevitable and unattributable. You are not learning a technique. You are accepting a diagnosis. You have been broadcasting a homing signal for your entire life. Now, we begin the excision. Core psychological mechanism. The economy of attention. Silence as your first and last weapon. Your attention is your throne. Your words are the tribute you pay to usurpers. Every time you speak without tactical intent, you are not sharing, you are paying. You are funding the psychological profile that will be used to manage you, manipulate you, or remove you. This is the non-negotiable economy. Attention is the supreme capital, and speech is its most foolish expenditure. When you vocalize a desire, you create a market for someone to sell you its fulfillment or its obstruction. When you express a fear, you hand over the blueprint for your own coercion. When you reveal a plan, you invite competition, sabotage, or the far more subtle poison of premature validation that drains your will to execute. The mechanism is cold, transactional, and universal. The listener is not a friend. They are a node in a network processing your data to determine your value and vulnerability. Your honesty is their intelligence. Your trust is their leverage. Silence, therefore, is not the absence of sound. It is the positive, aggressive act of hoarding your capital. It is retaining the positional advantage in every interaction because you have not revealed your hand, your desires, or your fears. It turns you from a debtor in the economy of influence into a sovereign, opaque and unassailable. To master silence is to master the fundamental truth. Power flows not to the one who speaks, but to the one who listens, calculates, and decides, utterly unobserved. Archetypes or behavioral patterns, the loud, the liquid, and the ghost. 3 cages of character. You are one of 3 failed archetypes. Identify your cage. The loud believes power is seized through declaration. He is a territorial animal, marking every space with his opinions, his victories, his presence. He mistakes attention for respect, volume for authority. His every move is telegraphed, his strategy reduced to a public manifesto. He is easily mapped, easily provoked, and ultimately easily contained. A noisy prisoner in a cell of his own construction. The liquid is more subtle and thus more pathetic. He seeks to flow into the shape of whatever vessel offers approval. He communicates not to lead, but to bond, to please, to find consensus. His silence is not tactical, it is cowardice. His speech is a series of concessions, leaking his true position to mold himself to others. He is the perfect tool, shapeable, predictable, and discarded when the mold changes. Then there is the ghost, who misunderstands the assignment. He believes silence is mere absence. He hides, withdraws, and confuses obscurity with power. His silence is fear, not strategy. He is not a sovereign. He is a missing person, a void that exerts no force. He has mistaken the map for the territory, believing that by erasing his signature, he has gained power when he has merely rendered himself irrelevant. All three are bankrupt. The loud spends his capital wildly. The liquid gives his away. The ghost buries it in a dead account. You must see yourself in one of these. This recognition is the first symptom of cure, deepening the threat. Examples: history, human nature, the court of fools. How history selects against the visible history is not written by the victors. It is curated by survivors who mastered the art of selective revelation. Consider every court, every boardroom, every social hierarchy. The jester speaks freely and is tolerated for his entertainment value. A pet, not a player. The earnest knight proclaims his loyalty and is sent to the front line to die for a cause he did not define. The loud noble boasts of his wealth and finds his lands taxed, his sons conscripted, his favor demanded. The system in any age is a harvesting engine. It is designed to identify and extract value from the visible. Your passion is a handle. Your conviction is a pressure point. Your shared vision is a leash. Modern institutions have perfected this. Social media profiles are psychological ledgers. Team building is compliance theater. And authenticity is the cultural mandate to lay your vulnerabilities on the altar for algorithmic and social consumption. This is not accident. It is human nature operating at scale. The herd instinctively identifies the outlier, not to follow it, but to correct it, exploit it, or sacrifice it. Your noise makes you a viable target for this correction. Every personal story you offer becomes a precedent used to judge you. Every public ambition you state becomes a metric by which your failure will be measured. Look beyond the pageantry, the silent emperors, the unseen partners, the quiet investors. They do not participate in the chorus. They let the fools sing, build their identities on the stage, and then they select which ones to fund, which to use, and which to discard when the narrative shifts. Your voice builds your prison. Their silence builds their throne. Strategic response and behavior shift. Operational secrecy. Forging your doctrine of zero. Signature. Your new doctrine has one objective: to move from point A to point B, leaving no trace of your intent, your methods, or your expenditure. This is operational secrecy. It begins with an information diet. You will cease consuming opinions, news, and narratives that do not serve a direct tactical purpose. This mental clutter creates reflex, not calculation. Next, you institute calculated obscurity. Your public profile becomes a bland, neutral facade, a silent front. You are present but unremarkable, agreeable but unmemorable. You do not offer opinions, you reflect them. You do not share goals, you express generic appreciation for universally accepted values. This front absorbs scrutiny like a black hole, giving back no light. The core of the doctrine is compartmentalization. Your true objectives, resources, and alliances exist in isolated mental vaults. No single person has the map to your entire board. You interact in fragments through discrete, completed actions, not grand pronouncements. Your communication shifts to the Socratic Inquisition. You master the question that guides others to reveal their map while you reveal nothing. Your primary tool becomes, "I see," and "What do you mean by that?" Finally, you adopt pattern interference. You deliberately inject minor, meaningless inconsistencies into your behavior, changing routines, expressing contradictory, harmless preferences to shatter predictive models others try to build of you. You are not lying. You are becoming strategically illegible. Your actions will have impact, but the path you took will be invisible. The result is not mystery for its own sake. It is sovereign freedom. The freedom to act without pre-approval, to pivot without explanation, and to possess power that cannot be located, and therefore cannot be besieged. Identity, death, and replacement. The unseen sovereign, becoming a fact, not a person. The final transmutation requires an execution. The person you are, the one that seeks recognition, that needs to be understood, that confuses being known with being powerful, must die. This is not a metaphor. It is a strategic demolition. That identity is a vulnerability, a collection of predictable responses waiting to be triggered. You will not improve it. You will incinerate it. In its place, you construct the unseen sovereign. This is not a personality. It is a function. It is the embodiment of cause and effect, separated from the noise of character. Your will ceases to be a feeling and becomes a force of nature, observable only in its consequences. A person has a biography. A fact has a result. A person explains. A fact simply is. Your new currency is not charm, but impact. Your new language is not words, but artifacts, completed projects, shifted balances of power, resolved situations. You become a gravitational field, not a voice in the crowd. Relationships are not for bonding. They are strategic alliances, valued for utility and quietly severed when their function ends. Your empathy is not a feeling. It is a diagnostic tool for mapping the motivations of others. This identity operates from a core of radical internal sovereignty. All validation, all narrative, all meaning is generated and contained within your own operational cell. The outside world receives finished products, not raw materials. The unseen sovereign does not fight for a seat at the table. It builds its own table in another room, and others only discover they are at it when the decisions have already been made. You are no longer a player seeking applause. You are the architect of the game, and your greatest power is that no one knows you are holding the blueprint. Final warning plus Elite CTA The Last Breach, your invitation to the unseen war. This is the final line. On one side lies the curated prison you call life, a scripted existence of consumption, confession, and constant, desperate negotiation for your own identity. Every law you have learned here is a forbidden one because it breaks the first rule of the prison: never let the captive realize he holds the key. To embrace this silence is to declare a silent war on the mediocre consensus that feeds on your visibility. There will be no medals, no recognition, no comforting brotherhood of the enlightened. There will only be the solitary, sovereign power of the unseen. This is your call, not to a community, but to a singular, unbreakable standard. The elite are not those with the most followers, but those with the fewest traces. They are not influencers. They are the influenced upon. This path is cold, isolating, and unforgiving. It will strip from you the cheap warmth of validation and leave you with only the clean, hard fire of your own will. If you understand that comfort is the currency of your captivity, if you are willing to exchange every ounce of approval for a single gram of true agency, then the doctrine is yours. The silence is waiting. The first law is to speak of this to no one. Began.